Today, I'd like to begin in so many ways at the beginning. We can come back to this as often as we need to, and I encourage you to do it on your own and with others you lead. The purpose of the work we're doing is to expand the dimensions in which we are aware. There are so many consequences of this expansion. The most important thing to remember is that this purpose is worth it. We are moving from one way of being to another explicitly because we were born into an existence shaped by our senses, by our physical senses. When we add the awareness of the third eye and the heightened flow of spirit through core channel up the spine, everything changes. There is a vast middle land of what has to be worked through. And it can take years. And it will continue to take years after you settle in and get used to it. So the base understanding I want you to appreciate is that spirit is not earth or fire or air or water. It's not another of the elements. It's something else. It's not a fifth element. This is not a good way to think of it. Spirit cannot be understood without using these metaphors, though. The metaphor of fire, the metaphor of flow, of a liquid, the metaphor of a flower itself with roots and flowers that vibrantly reach us in the world with color, with inspiration. All of these are metaphors, and the beauty of the name in that I accepted it as given to me, wild flowing fire, is that you can look into it in all these different ways, and it, by sort of meditating on it like a Zen koan, by breathing in and out and imagining the different ways of understanding this, you can get a little closer to understanding what spirit is. Now let's apply these. When spirit moves up our spine at a heightened amount, we're going from this stream to a river. We're going from being used to a small flow to a much more intense flow. We want to use the metaphor of water to appreciate that that can dredge us, that can bring to the surface things that there didn't used to be enough pressure to move. But we also want to use the metaphor of fire, because some of the things that spirit touches in this way will literally disintegrate. They'll be torn apart. But we also want to use the metaphor of vitality, something that's a combination of them, something more like blood, because spirit will flow into aspects of ourself, our memory, our baggage, and it'll bring them to life. It'll bring them to life like a zombie within you. And all of a sudden, you'll be experiencing thoughts and feelings that you're like, wait, I was done with this. Now, the immediate danger is that people think, oh, I'm going backwards. I swore I would never go back to these feelings, and now I'm going backwards. And it's crucial that your mind appreciates and integrates. You are more actively going forwards than ever. You are ready to face the worst feelings with the resolve to move through them. So you want them to come to life right in front of your face and stare at them and say, hey, you're a zombie. You are a dead skin. I am here to do whatever I need to feel these feelings, to be present with them so we can thoroughly let them go. You don't want to hold them down. Holding them down takes an enormous amount of energy. We call it zeroing. You're zeroing the intensity at great cost. To maintain the resolve that you want this heightened flow to continue, you do not want it to calm down. And yet, if it flows into this baggage, and the baggage comes to life, and you're feeling pain, the first instinct is to say, I want this pain to stop. And it's together that we want to affirm and reaffirm again and again, weekly, monthly. I want to remember to say, okay, I'm in pain, but I want to face this. I want to face this with as little effort and time as is necessary, but I want it to be done. I'm here. What help do I need? What support do I need? What witness do I need? What shift in attitude? What courage do I need to face feelings that have been repressed? So they're out of my riverbed. They are out of my system. They are no longer in the way, and I can fully trust the life that's waking up. And when we wake up this life, the energy eventually gets all the way up through our chin to the third eye. Now, this whole journey of energy moving up your spine is finding skins in the way. And if it finds a baggage, it's flowing into that baggage, and there's much less that gets up higher. And if it finds something else higher, there's even less. And by the time it gets to your third eye, it can't even activate it. To activate your third eye, you have to have a majority of your heightened flow, of your awakened flow. A majority of that flow has to get all the way to your third eye. Then your third eye often has to decalcify. This is intense. It's practical. It's physical. I think we should start to share this more. There's a process people can go through to intentionally help decalcify your third eye. It's a shield that happens around your third eye. Fluoride really does help generate this shield. It's not exactly a conspiracy. It's intentional. It's like, don't turn on your third eye until we're ready to deal with it. And culturally, we've said, don't turn on your third eye until we're ready as a global culture to face the truth. I happen to live in a town that blocked the fluoridization of our water supply. And that had a dramatic impact on me. And again and again, I would come back to my town. And part of the blessing that I didn't understand at the time is that I would have real water. I would have real water. And gradually I would gravitate to farms and places that had wells that didn't do this, because it breaks down the shield around your third eye so you can literally begin to see spiritual presence. And you need to see it. You need to see spiritual presence in order to be at peace with your awakening, or you will feel like you are going crazy. It's too late. So once the river is flowing this strong, you got to learn to ride the river. You got to learn to navigate the rapids. You got to learn to see the rocks so you don't crash into them. You can't just go, I want to stop now. It doesn't work like that. And we're here together to maintain the flow, to maintain the ride, to maintain our resolve that it's worth getting and staying good at maintaining this flow. Embracing the beautiful, beautiful gifts and being present with each other when it gets hard. Reminding each other that it's worth it. There are tools, there are skills that we can learn to support each other. And we're here to do this together and share it with more and more people, because people are starving for this. Now, I want to begin today just by sharing something that's happening to me right now. I have a little bit of a headache. My headache is related to very old feelings that are finally dredging up. It's just another level. I never consider myself done. I'm never surprised if I have a little more work to do. And yesterday I did work with someone who reminded me of myself in my 20s. It was very triggering for me. Now, please appreciate what a trigger is. A trigger means someone else is resonating in a way that I know. So they are behaving, they are living in a way that brings up something in me. And so these feelings came up in me, and I know how to clamp them down. I've clamped them down for decades, but I'm like, no way, I want to be present with this. So I'm feeling this pain, and it's not searing, it's just here, and it's annoying. And as I tune into it, I'm having these memories of painful emotional times in my 20s when I was awakening, and I didn't know how to interpret it. And I pushed myself through it. I forced myself to keep going, but I didn't know how to be present with my emotions. And some of them are still there. Like I never fully dealt with them. They're not the core. I've dealt with the core biggest challenges. They're relationship pains that I went through at the time. They're the sense of betrayal I had that my friends didn't care enough to stay with me. My girlfriend at the time didn't care enough to stay with me. That's what I'm feeling today. I'm remembering her. And I want to share this because I really would love, first of all, it's really where I am. And I think this is one of the most wonderful analogies. I believe this could apply to so many of you. I went through an awakening and I had to watch my partner and my best friends pull away from me. They were freaked out. They never said so to my face, but easily my only interpretation 30 years later is they thought I was going crazy and they didn't want to deal with me. It was awful. It was a deep sense of betrayal. And what I did mentally was say, eventually, over the course of years, I said, they weren't right for me. They didn't know how to love me. So I stopped myself from being angry and resentful by forcing myself to hold the truth, to see the light in the darkness. I did it in the right way. But that part of me that was angry and felt betrayed still needs a little bit of attention.